Whoa, look what I found in my mailbox today. The new forward set controls, foot controls, came with free shipping on eBay. They were about 120 bucks. A little bit nicer than I thought they was going to be. Before ordering, make sure that your front motor mounts are the 4-hole motor mounts. This is on a 1998 Sportster. The hole in the middle is where the foot peg screws in, stupid. And my technician was able to easily remove those 4 bolts, those 6 bolts there, in about under an hour, I guess. And there, they come right off. Now, be sure that this motor mount is in place and the one under the gas tank is in place so that this motor doesn't move around. And that's out. Now, whoever told you to remove your exhaust system, his wardrobe should be cleaned and burned in that order. It didn't have no paperwork on it, but I think it go like that. Once I finally figured out that the right motor mount goes on the inside, right there, and the left motor mount goes on the outside, right there. Not that hard of a thing to do. That nut there will go right on. We're pretty sure that the oil line, nothing, or the wires, nothing has to be disconnected or removed. It's not really too hard of a thing to do. My technician was able to do this after his 4th or 5th beer. But I managed to put some masking tape around a nut and jam it in to the box end wrench to hold it there. The right bracket is threaded right there, so you don't have to reach up behind there with your fingers and hold the nut there. But before you attempt to thread it, make sure that the bolt will go into it. That has to be torqued down to about 60 foot-pounds of torque on the case there, and to hold the case together, and start this one, put this one in first and torque it down all the way. Working upper motor mount bolt back and forth very gently and with a lot of lubrication, my technician was able to snugly tighten the bolt down into the corresponding motor mount by working it back and forth, and it seemed to be alright. It was no picnic, but I did manage to get the front motor mounts changed and properly torqued down with just some basic hand tools. Okay, now that the front motor mounts have been replaced, now we're going to put on these things. Coat that with Loctite so it doesn't come back out. The front heat shield had to be loosened with a standard screwdriver, and then the right foot lever control module actuator retaining clamp valve will be easily threaded into the position of its corresponding receptacle. Before you attach the foot peg, work that thing all the way down, because it's cast into kind of a cheap, looks like aluminum alloy, and you know that it's not going to be real aluminum. It's not going to be very strong, so you know that this aftermarket stuff is not foolproof. It's not intended for fools. Work that Allen wrench down and then back it out and put plenty of lubricant on there. I want my foot pegs to be about at a 45-degree angle, so they fold up at about a 45-degree angle. Right about there. About like that. You can always come back and adjust them later in life. But right now, that ought to be good enough. Like that. Don't forget to put those in there. There's 4 of them. Keep your foot pegs from flapping in the breeze. Okay. Without sacrificing the use of my mid-range foot pegs in the middle here, the forward sets were easily attached by putting the actuator lever upwards, thus reversing your shift pattern. And the trick seemed to be to push on the rod right there in like that, bending it around the case, and then simply take the provided hardware, just put the Loctite on it and attach it to here. Now take your 14mm, tighten up the slack adjusters here, about like that, and about like that. There, so the left side of the scooter is looking good there. The pan-hard rod that came with the kit was too long to be attached to the existing foot peg and master cylinder combination unit scenario at home. One of them is shortening it, and we're going to do some grinding on it a little bit later. Get a 1/4-inch bolt and go down to Aces and get a bronze bushing. Then grind about half of the bronze bushing off. Slip it over a 1/4-inch nut. What it's going to do is that it's going to go in there. The bronze bushing takes up, that's a good tight fit there. And this is going to go into the brake pedal, and then the locking nut is going to go onto it like that. I had to shorten mine right here. Remember, I cut 1 inch off of it. It had 2 inches of threads on there. I didn't like that, so I shortened mine like that. This will attach to the existing brake pedal. You just take the cotter pin out here of the tip there. Of course, I had it out before. Pull it out. It's the same size diameter as the 1/4-inch bolt, case hardened bolt that I got at Aces. The shim was pretty easy to find. It's a brass bearing. I had to grind about that much of it off with a bench grinder. It fits right into the heim joint here and makes a pretty good seal right there. And then take the, wasn't that 1.5 inches? 1.5 by 1/4, and screw it on like that. And we got some hot spots on our camera here, but there you can see there's the nut and there's the bolt there, and the pan hardened rod is attached to the existing brake pedal. Now I've got to reshape it to that. Shaping the end of the foot actuator lever control adjustment rod took about an hour, and then put a 1/4-inch hole in it, started a pilot hole. Okay, the locking nut is on, and the pin has never been inserted before. a little stiff at first, and the brake has never been applied. It took a little bit of wiggling around, but it finally slid, the pin finally slid right in there. Now, watch what happens when I depress the front set. Yeah, it's a done deal. Why is finished, only is off. Go, the races.